Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy here, and I'm back at you this morning with another traditional video, and it's an Arthur Wright video. And my friend Slick Slicers, if you don't know him, I'll put his channel down below. I'll put a link to one of his Arthur Wright videos. Excuse me, he is more of the high-end Arthur Wright videos, but he got me completely hooked on I wanted one. And I wanted to try. I've actually had his on my channel, and I've sort of not a review, but I had a quick look at it as one of our passing knives, and it was beautiful. It was immaculate. It was finished perfectly. It was up in the high GEC end of price range, which is fine because the knife was lovely. In fact, I wouldn't have regretted a penny on it. But I decided to try. They do two different ranges. They do their premium range, and then they do, it's not a budget range, but it's the lesser of the two ranges. I don't know how to work that out, what they're going to do, but I'm going to show you this is the lesser. So this is about £40, which I think is a great price for this knife. I wouldn't want to pay much more than that. But then again, I wouldn't want to pay the price of Case are asking for their knives, because this has the same bad features that is creeping into the Case brand at the minute. Now, Case, when they're done well, are worth the price, but like anything else, when they're not done well, they're worth about the same price as this, which I agree is about £40. I don't think that a traditional knife has to be as, especially blade centering and all, it doesn't have to be as perfect, because these are handmade knives. You know, one person starts it, makes it, and that's it. Now, in saying that, I find it very frustrating that a company, I'll tell you what, let's talk about this knife. We'll get it out of this. This is a fella, Davison, I'll put his name down below too, who does leather works over here in the UK. Beautiful. I love his sheets where he has the open bit at the bottom here. Just nice to have leather in it, but it holds this knife perfectly well. So, there we have, it's the Stag bone, and for 40 quid to get Stag bone, and it's genuine Stag bone, it's maybe not the best, but the configuration on the show side is absolutely lovely. Not so great on the backside, but again, it is, you know, this is a £40 knife. Look at the shape of it, it is not even, and that's the thing with Stag. You're never going to get it completely even, especially when you're wanting to try and have both sides looking something similar. I think this does a smashing job of it. In hand, you don't notice that knobbly, but in fact, it adds to the hand security, if you like. Thickness-wise, there's probably not that much difference, except for this big lump at the bottom here where the Stag is on it. You can see how uneven it is, but that's beautiful. That's what Stag is. So that side of it is lovely. And look, brass pins, but look, you can actually see the hammering on the brass pin. Isn't that just, I find that lovely. And then it's hafted and polished, and there's no feeling there. I don't feel it. The corners are absolutely fine. There's no significant gaps in this. Maybe the odd wee one, but absolutely nothing that bothers me in the slightest. For £40, I am over the moon. Now, here's where that I get a little bit. Now, it's nickel silver bolsters, and the blade steel is not the best. In fact, it's pretty crap, to be honest with you. It's C70. Now, I've done cut tests on C70. It'll do a day's work for me. Do you know what I mean? As long as it's not too hard, it's not for something driving through heavy lumps of wood. You can do whittling with it, no problem. But to me, this is the perfect shape. The absolute perfect shape for a Barlow knife. I just love this. The clip on this is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. It really is. I mean, to me, that is the prettiest clip. Now, on the more expensive one, you have a completely mirror finish on it, which looks stunning. Absolutely horrible for a finger magnet. This isn't so bad. But it's made nice thin stock. It marries up okay. You know, it marries up. There isn't much wobble in that at all. You feel a tiny little bit, but nothing much. So it's a very secure knife. It is about, there's no half stop on this now. It is about a six pull, which is, again, absolutely fine. But look at the kick. Isn't that just beautiful? So when I hold this knife, that kick is there. This knife cannot close on my finger unless I'm very careless. And listen to that lock back in position. Does that not give you added security? I just think that is stunning. And again, I'm going to keep referring to the price, because for 40 quid, this is amazing. I still haven't come to the major fault. And the major fault is what I think puts most people off. Didn't put me off, and I'll show it to you in a minute. But the tang stamp. Wright and Sons Limited, Sheffield. I think it says, does it say England, Sheffield? Yeah, Sheffield, England, down below there. Nicely stamped in, nice to see. Look at that nail nick. That is a really deep nail nick in there. So there's no problem. And it's quite strong, so, but you can get both fingers on either side. But it is quite difficult. I use my nail, to be honest with you. Thankfully, I have good nails for a man. So, what else about this knife? Let me tell you a bit about it. It's 6 1/4 inches fully open. Again, perfect size for a traditional knife. Closed is 3.5 inches, and the blade length is 2.5. It's C70 carbon steel, which is a bit soft. It's Rockwell at 54 to 56. Now, saying it's a bit soft, it's not that soft. I mean, I done the cardboard cut testing this, and I've done a sharpening video on C70. It's all right for a budget steel and a pocket knife. But this is the type of pocket knife that I'm not going to take for hard use. It's for cutting a bit of string, slicing a bit of paper up. That's all I'm going to use. This is pocket candy to bring out. Now, if you haven't got a knife and you got a piece of string that needs cutting, you're stuck. But I mean, this is for light use, in my opinion. Can you whittle with it? Yeah, a bit of softwood. You could whittle quite happily with this. It's a beautiful tip. It's just stunning. But it's that shape. That shape, when you get it in your hand, your blade is already facing down. So it's down. Now, lovely bit of straight, nice little bit of belly. This is great for, look, it's not a kitchen knife, because, let me just show you. This is what I like about the shape. Look at this. This is a lovely knife to hold, because you get straight down and you can get down to cutting. I'm not sure whether that made sense. I probably didn't do that justice, but it really is. It's just lovely in your hand. This is not a kitchen preparation knife. I don't need to get my hands flat down. This is just for cutting things. It's a cutting tool. So now, I'm going to show you now. Well, this is another thing. Look at the end cap here. How easy would that have been to just do it flat? I mean, simple thing like that, and it's a sort of simple thing that case are not doing right. But that makes a difference. When you turn a knife up and you look at that, that's just not tidy. And it would take seconds. It doesn't take a master craftsman to make that just straight across. The rest of the knife is so good for £40. It's amazing. And I would pay another 10, 20 quid for these two small things. That's one of them. That's one of the complaints. Now, that's not bad for a 40 quid knife. So, here's the other one. Now, it closes beautifully. Now look. It's just so off-centre. And that is, now, it's not exactly rubbing. I have no real rub marks on here. So it's not touching the sides. But how hard is that to fix? I don't know. Maybe you're a knife maker of traditional knives. How hard is that to fix and get it right? I mean, because it just looks bad. Now, in use, and look, again, I am quite happy with the £40 I spent for this. I am more than happy, in fact, with the £40 I spent for this. I didn't think it would be as good, but it is that good. So, that's all of it. I mean, it just looks bad, doesn't it? When you turn the knife over, it looks bad, but it genuinely doesn't affect the use of the knife. This is a work knife. This is not a knife for my collection, per se. It's just a work knife that I'll carry on a daily basis. Here's another British knife, and again, this one's a bit more centred. In fact, it's very nearly centred. This one has the file work. This is a Michael May. Again, about a 6 pull, 5.5, 6 pull, I suppose. This is in dark denim micarta. I really do love this as well. Not so keen on the brass bolts, so I'd asked for the stainless steel, but it is another beautiful traditional knife of about the same size, but just tiny wee things that weren't done brilliantly. Again, look at the finish on that. Although that is the curve of what he was doing, so I'm going to pass on that one. But everything else is really well finished. But this is about £100 off this knife, so I would expect more for that. For £40, I absolutely think this was a bargain. I'm going to be honest with you. I just think it's lovely. Now, is the Stag the best in the world? Here is what you get when you pay for a GEC, sorry, Stag. It just seems much clearer, cleaner. It is knobbly as well. You know, there's more of an authentic feel to this. I know this is real Stag, but this one just looks so much nicer, and the materials on it obviously are a bit brighter and stand out a bit more. But then I'm going to pay for this. The blade shape and even the handle shape is a little bit different. This is more, the GEC is more of a flatter profile, where this is the arch, which I really like. The blade shape, I think it's a nicer clip on the Arthur Wright, but I think the extras like the long pull and the swedges on the GEC are much nicer. But this is a completely different animal. This is beautifully fit and finished. I can't find anything wrong with this. This has just got that one big glaring one where it's just completely off centre, and it would put a lot of people off. I suppose in reality what I'm trying to tell you is don't let that put you off, because this is a great little work knife for 40 quid. It's cheaper than case. It's cheaper. When I'm saying 40 quid, it's about $50, so it's cheaper than most cases you're going to get. It is so much more knife than a little case knife to me. Now, case of steel is not great. This steel is not great, but for a pen knife, and this is what we have to get into consider. This is a pen knife. I don't need M390 and paying £180 for a pen knife, a pocket pen knife that I'm going to use. Yes, if I want to collect them. Yes, if I want a hard use. Yes, I'll maybe need the different blade steel, but this is just a knife to have in your pocket. This is a boy's knife, a man's little. It's just a useful little thing to poke, pry, and you're not going to worry too much about it. So what do you think? Is it okay to drop the price down? I mean, the Stag bone and everything on the expensive one that Slick Slicers has, which again I'll show you the video down below. It's just a nicer looking knife all round. It is made better all round. Everything about it, the blade centering is better. But for £40, now you're not getting that mirror polish. You're not getting a straight blade. You're getting exactly the same steel and the same materials. For me, this is good enough. Would I like one of the other ones? Yes. Will I get one of them? Yeah, I probably will, because I've handled the two and I can see the difference between this and the more expensive Arthur Wright. But I just wanted to see what the middle of the road one was. And for me, it's a buyer all day long. Hard to get Arthur Wright knives at the minute. There's a lot of companies over in the UK that do them, and it is just a matter of going on them and seeing what they've got. They don't seem to have a huge amount at any one time. But for me, I'm glad I've got this. I'm glad this is part of my user collection, because it is a great little user. There it is beside the GEC. That's the Lick Creek. That's the little tiny one. And here's my other. This is a custom one. It was made for me. This is the Michael May. So it's the same size and weight of the Michael May, if you've ever handled one. Near enough the same size. A little bit shorter, about a quarter of an inch shorter. But two stockily made, handy working knives. So, there we go. I meant to say Arthur Wright. I mean, it's a great Sheffield company, but it's only been going from 1947. So as far as the knife making world goes, that's not a huge amount of time. What's that, 70 odd years. But I think if they could just maybe nail the fit and finish a little bit better on these, I could say they could push them into the market without any problem whatsoever, in much more numbers than they're doing now. I think there is a market. British people do want to buy British knives, much like Americans want to buy USA made knives, but the rest of the world will follow if it's a good knife. And I think this is the sort of thing. Sometimes I just wish the British knife companies, because they're just going out of fashion. They're just not making good enough knives. And maybe they're just not pushing the knife enough. I mean, you very rarely see anywhere where they're advertising Arthur Wright knives. There we go. That's my opinion. I'm glad I've got it. Would I recommend the cheaper version? I really would. It's a lovely knife for a little pen knife. So yes, I do. And I will. So I'm gone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to leave you with that solitary picture in my hand of a beautiful Arthur Wright of Sheffield, Barlow. Take care. I'm going. All the best. Paddy. Bye-bye now.